If AI perfectly writes the code, designs the app, and pumps out infinite content by tomorrow, are you getting replaced or promoted? What's actually left for a human to do? Let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we are extracting the ultimate survival playbook from Mosseri, the head of Instagram, to find out exactly why the AI revolution isn't making you obsolete, but rather making human authenticity your absolute most valuable asset. So let's contrast the slow, highly specialized past of software building with an immediate future where AI is just doing the heavy lifting. Mosseri noted that we're rapidly approaching a world where you don't really write code anymore. You literally vibe code an app. You steer the AI and it generates the logic. But think about it. If the machine is doing the building, what's left for us? Well, this fundamentally shifts human value away from just pure execution directly into curation and direction.
Section 1. The Age of Generalists and the Rise of Small Teams.
Historically, at any major tech company, a standard product team looked like a baker's dozen. We're talking 13 or more highly specialized people. Dedicated Android engineers, iOS engineers, server folks, researchers, data scientists. But Instagram is now shifting to smaller, much faster pods of just 4 to 6 generalist engineers, which completely eliminates that whole design by committee bottleneck.
And look at this brand new role they're talking about, product staff. The functional lines are just completely blurring now. One person, armed with the right AI tools, can now do what used to require a whole room of specialists. They pull their own data waterfalls, they draft preliminary designs, they conduct basic research. AI lowers the barrier, basically empowering a single generalist to have massive cross-functional impact. Actually, Mosseri points out something crazy here. Engineering used to be, 40 to 60%, just the mechanical act of typing code. Today, it's all about planning, reviewing, and steering the AI's output. Success now squarely belongs to those whose strengths align with directing AI and conceptualizing the big picture, rather than just heads-down executing tasks.
Section 2. Why human taste matters and why it's the ultimate advantage.
Okay, so in a world where an AI can just effortlessly generate the code for an application, human taste and strategic judgment become incredibly valuable. Mosseri argues that when building is easy, literally almost free, spending your time figuring out what to build and having the instinct to know what will actually resonate with people is the ultimate separator between success and failure.
And this totally redefines leadership. Managing an AI-driven product cycle requires leaders who are essentially curators. It's way less about a lone genius dictating some brilliant vision from the top down. Instead, it's about creating an environment of deep trust where the best ideas can bubble up and the leader curates the right people and technologies to bring those ideas to life. Moving to Section 3, inside the Instagram algorithm, how it actually works. You know that feeling when the algorithm just seems to get you? People usually assume the algorithm is practically reading our minds, like it has this deep, rich, semantic understanding of our individual personalities. But Mosseri reveals that the reality of the Instagram algorithm is actually far more mathematical, and historically anyway, a lot less personal than we all think.
Check this out. Historically, Instagram didn't know you liked surfing. It just matched your behavior to a giant, illegible 7-dimensional number. Literally a vector in an embedding space. But recently, large language models are finally allowing the system to look at those massive, confusing numbers and translate them into human concepts, like, say, deep pour-over coffee snobbery. AI is finally given the algorithm a vocabulary.
Section 4. The chronological feed myth, and why algorithms actually win. We all intuitively assume that a chronological feed is just better, right? We expect it to keep us connected to our loved ones. But the structural reality is completely different. In a chronological system, the absolute best strategy is to post constantly. Massive publishers or brands posting 50 times a day will completely bury that one post from your best friend. Every time platforms test chronological feeds, overall user satisfaction and engagement just plummet. So, despite the endless complaints you see online, algorithmic curation actually works way better at scale. It balances system incentives, and most importantly, it uses exploration-based ranking, which is a concept heavily inspired by TikTok. This allows platforms to test content and break small niche creators to massive audiences who didn't even know they'd like that specific stuff. Yet, people still get incredibly angry when the algorithm or the interface changes. Mosseri uses this brilliant analogy to explain why. Think about it. If you organize your physical desk perfectly, you sit there for 50 minutes a day, and someone sneaks in and rearranges it without asking, you'd be furious.
Tech friction isn't just about code. It's about disrupting the digital spaces where people spend massive portions of their daily lives.
Section 5. Authenticity in the AI era. This is the true differentiator. You might honestly think that endless, cheap, AI-generated images and videos would just destroy a creator-focused platform. But Mosseri has a really counterintuitive take on why an absolute abundance of synthetic content is actually a massive opportunity.
It all comes down to scarcity, right? When synthetic, perfectly polished AI content is literally everywhere, it becomes cheap and expected. What becomes incredibly rare and therefore wildly valuable is true human authenticity. This is going to accelerate the shift of power from faceless institutions to individual creators, because people will actively hunt for the messy, genuine perspective of a real human being.
Because of this, Instagram's strategy isn't to just ban AI tools outright. The goal is transparency. They want to label AI content so users are informed while ruthlessly cracking down on malicious spam, like, an AI-generated account pretending to be a real monk selling bogus supplements. The focus is purely on protecting the user's ability to know exactly what they are looking at.
And this leads us to a fundamental philosophy. Whether a creator uses a 35mm camera, a paintbrush, or the latest AI video generator, the tool itself is neutral. The underlying creative vision, the distinct point of view of the artist wielding that tool, is what truly matters and what audiences will ultimately connect with.
All right, let's do a rapid recap of the hard facts here. The era of the 13-plus person specialist team is dead, replaced by 4 to 6 person AI-empowered pods. Social algorithms don't read your mind. They map your behavior to 7-dimensional vectors. And chronological feeds actually suppress individual reach because publishers will just bury you by posting 50 times a day. Today's ultimate takeaway? The mechanical active execution is a commodity now. Your only real moat is your taste, your curation, and your messy human authenticity. Now, let's have a hardcore debate. Do you think Mosseri is right that AI content will actually make human creators more valuable, or is that just optimistic platform PR? Drop your argument in the comments. And hey, if you want our complete mind map and tool list of today's insights, just leave a comment below and I'll send it directly to you. See you on the next explainer.